Hey everybody, Corey here from Par2Pro. We're here with our favorite tester, Al, and we're checking out the ES14. Yes, the Ernest Sports 14. It's the club and ball radar unit, and we're comparing it to our fantastic GC2. Now the two units are completely different price points, so we are looking at just kind of trying to get the number comparison, but we do have to be realistic in terms of what you get for your money. That all being said, we're going to start off here. We've already got the app downloaded on our tablet. Just a quick note, the Apple Store does not have the app as of yet. It's still being waiting for approval. So for all of those of you who have an Apple device, just make sure that it's in and running before you purchase your ES14. So that being said, we're going to start off on a range session here. We're going to call the range session test, and I'm going to call it 22 because we've done a lot of tests on here. Al, you're going to remember that?
Yep.
We're going to hit start session. So on the session, we've got our clubs, our speed, ball speed, direction, smash factor, spin, launch. And we have run into a little issue with the direction. It doesn't seem to be consistent yet. So as with anything new, we do have a few bugs in the software. And we are connected to that ES14 that's down there. So I'll hit a shot here, and we're going to hit quite a few shots and see what we can come up with.
Distance 148 yards.
So on that shot, the ball speed was 104 miles per hour, and what's coming up on the GC2 there, the ball speed was 105.56. The spin rate was 60.47, and the spin rate on the GC2 was 61.10. And the launch angle on the ES12 was 19, and the launch angle on the GC2 was 17.4. So what we're finding so far is that the more accurate or more straight your shot is, the more accurate the results are. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you, Al's going to hit some straight shots, some left ones, some right ones. Keep going, Al. We'll just keep firing them away. That's going left. That's going quite left.
Yep.
And actually, it was so far left that the ES14 didn't even read it. So
Try another one.
yeah, just don't go so severe left there, Al.
Wait for the auto continue.
Yeah, I think we've set that too long on the GC2. There you go.
Distance 142 yards.
So I'll just hit a few here.
So on that one, it said the carry distance was 142, and the GC2 said 129. So, you know, we're quite a bit off there. Launch angle 13 as opposed to 21. And that's a big thing, is that on this ES14, you just keep hitting there, Al, whenever you're ready. I'll keep talking.
So that one was thin, so that's, I think, where your numbers are coming from. The GC2 was correct of how thin it was, but the ES14 doesn't know that.
Distance 146 yards.
And the big thing on this is that, yes, it's basing the launch angle measurement that it's showing you based off of the loft of the club that you select. And we've got the 7-iron selected here, whereas the GC2 actually directly measures the launch angle, directly measures the spin. And the ES14 is directly measuring the ball speed and directly measuring the club speed. So a lot of calculations on the ES14.
157 yards.
Which leaves some of the other information like exact distance and spin. You know, it's going to be, it's a calculation. So again, the better shots that we hit, it tends to be more accurate. All right, so I'm glad you got a right shot in there.
Yards.
So on the ES14, I'm just going to give you the numbers on this last shot, and then we'll go do the averages. So the carry on that was 143 on the GC2, and here it said the carry was 148. The spin rates, 60.86 on the ES14 and 69.40 on the GC2. And the launch angle was 20.5 on the ES14, and the GC2 said it's 18.7. So what we're going to do here is we're going to hit end save, and we're going to go into the club average, and we've done a lot of testing in here. So let's go to test 22, and go pick our 7-iron. So I'm gonna get Al to read out some of the numbers here, but the club speed on the GC2 is all a calculation, but the club speed on here was 82.2 average. And Al, what was it on the GC2 there?
72.1.
So on the GC2, since it's a calculation, we're probably going to rely more on the ES14 being our accurate number. And now the ball speed is a direct measurement on both. So the average on the ES14 was 104.2. And what's the average there on
104.5, so very close.
Wow, okay, that's really close. So the smash factor shows up on the ES14. It doesn't show up on the GC2 in terms of the averages. So we'll move on to the spin. And the spin on this is 6096.
And we got 59.79, so pretty close.
So actually that's pretty close. Yeah, we're within, roughly 120 there on the spin. Now the distance, 148.2, and that's a carry distance. What do we have for carry on there?
139.
Okay, so that's 9 yards off. That's quite significant. But again, that's because of the different launch angles, and that's what we're going to see next. Is that average is 20 degrees.
And I got 15 on the other one. I hit a thin one in there, and I generally hit the ball pretty low, and so that shows on the GC2 that I believe the last shot that went right, I obviously had more loft on it, and so I believe that that's what's getting the numbers probably closer on the ES14, whereas my normal, I kind of de-loft the club and hit a lower shot. The GC2 knows that, obviously, because it's only reading the ball. The ES14 doesn't know that. I'm turning my 7-iron into a 6-iron. So I believe that that's part of the situation with the ES14. Since we're telling it it's a 7-iron, I'm de-lofting the club, and it thinks I'm launching it higher than I really am.
Yeah, exactly it. So when you're looking at the ES14 as opposed to a GC2, again, there's quite a significant price difference. And the ES14, it's measuring the ball speed and the club speed, and everything else is a calculation. Whereas the GC2 on its own without an HMT is directly measuring the ball speed, spin, direction, and launch angles. So with direct measurements, you're going to get a much more accurate reading. So for more information, you can always visit us at www.par2pro.com. Thanks, Al.
Thanks.